receptive to this information, because knowledge is power once we are able to use this information. So we are grateful once again to be on this call, and we are thankful that you have brought everyone here to listen. In Jesus' name, thank you.
Amen and amen. Thank you so much, Larry. Appreciate that so much. So, guys, we are here again, once again, to educate, and bring information to light for women, for girls, for your loved ones. And we have the amazing Joy Pierre Bizarre. As always, she is, to me, a clinician. She deals in nanomedicine. She deals with blood hemopathy. But she's going to tell you all about it. But all I do know is that what she does best. To me, she is one of the best that I've ever met. The knowledge that she's able to empower and bring out just always blows my mind. I mean, every single time without fail, I'm always blown away to sit at her feet, to learn something new and to get information. So all I say to you, if you're on this call, invite a friend, invite a loved one, invite that lady in your life, mother, daughter, sister, cousin, friend, co-worker, and let them jump on. Let them jump on as Dr. Denise shares information that she don't really have to share with us, but she chooses to because she cares and because she really cares about humanity. And that's to me, huge. Not many people do. So without further ado, Joy Pierre Bizarre, are you there?
Yes, great night to you all. What a beautiful, introduction there, Dr. Ruth. And I love you, my sister. So without further ado, let's get straight in, because for those who have been logged on earlier, I want to keep it within the hour so that we can still answer some questions, etc. So as you can see, my beautiful queen has introduced me. And as I said, she's my sister. And, some of the things that you're seeing on there is some of my, what I'm involved in, what I do. And my main specialty is in orthomolecular medicine. I'm a clinical microscopy blood cell analyst, as well as a nutritionist. I am trained in the field of blood hematopathology, which means I look at your blood and I analyze it, pathogens, and all of these things that, brings about diseases and so forth within the body. I practice nanomedicine, and nanomedicine is simply giving the body tiny particles at a time so that the body can absorb at its cellular level. My in-depth training is in medicine, pharmacogenetics, kinetics, and cutting tech, edge nutrition, biology, and neuroscience by using certain nonlinear diagnostic technology from out of Germany, because a lot of people ask, I hope it's not from China. No, it's from Germany, Russia technology. And I also consult with integrative clinics, as well as I believe that we should return to the gifts of nature to bring back balance in wisdom, mind, body, and soul. All right. So without ado, let's get that out of the way. Tonight, I want to speak about the lymphatic system. And what is our lymphatic system? We understand that in today's world, our immune system is definitely knocked down. We are not actually, getting the performance we need from our body at that cellular level. So yes, it is about females, and most of us, notwithstanding our guys, do have lymphatic blockages as well. So I'm hoping tonight that we understand in depth what really is the lymphatic system. It is also called the tree of life. It's very important in maintaining our healthy immune system. And in today's world, where we are being knocked down, struck down by any little thing that hits our system, it is definitely telling us that our body is not engineered to deal with what is bombarding our systems at this point, whether it's the foods we eat, whether it's the antibiotics we take, pharmaceutical, nutraceutical formulations, and so forth. So we're going to touch on the microbiome and the lymphatic organs, which is, we have to empower the thymus, spleen, tonsils, and then we look at the overview of the immune system, the diseases, and the immunity, which flows blood. All right. So understanding our, let me see, just right, sorry. Lymphatic system, as I said earlier, is the tree of life, all right? The lymphatic system is a network of tissues and organs that help rid the body of toxins, waste, and other unwanted materials. Now, you know, we have this idea that the blood, yes, does. The blood gives us life, but is really the tree of life is really the lymphatic system. And we must pay a specific attention to it because many of us do not take care of our lymphatic system. All right. It's our other circulatory system, which is vital for our health. All right. The primary function of the lymphatic system is to transport lymph, a fluid containing infection-fighting white blood cells throughout the body. So these lymphatic system, the lymph vessels, ducts, nodes, and other tissues that flows around in this liquid, which is clear in color, right? They work similar way as the blood vessels. So these lymph vessels work with the veins to return fluid from tissues within the body. So if we look at the amount of ounces of fluid leak from the cardiovascular system, it's about 68 ounces into body tissues every day. That's the amount that flows into our cardiovascular system. And the lymphatic system is a network of vessels, as I said, that collect these fluids or lymph nodes. So unlike the blood, the lymphatic fluid is not pumped, but squeezed through the vessels when we use our muscles. So if you're not active or you're not doing anything, the body just stays dormant. The lymph fluids start to accumulate in the lymph nodes and starts to cause some inflammation taking place. Now, I might be going forward with this, but it is moved. If you get therapies and so forth, will help drain these toxins, and it is moved through the vessels by crunching our muscles, movement, bending, and so forth. All right. So what the lymphatic system does, our microbiome, all right, is trillions of symbiotic microbial organisms that live within the body. It's in the gut, brain, air, skin, nose, the oral, gastrointestinal, respiratory, urinary, and vital tracts, and the bloodstream. All right. So their genes are now thought to contribute to these human survival than the genes of the human. So what the lymphatic system does, if we are not in tune, the microbiome is not in tune with the lymph system and the immune system, we're going to have problems, because without these little bodies in our system, the body cannot function. All right. So we have a little picture there with on the screen showing the lymph nodes, the lymphatic flow, and where it goes and where it's at in the body. All right. So it has three main functions. One, it maintains the balance of fluid between the blood and tissues, and it also forms part of the body's immune system to help defend against bacteria and other intruders. Now, we saw the microbiome and all these bacteria and all protozoans and fungi that live together within the system. Now, if they go into overgrowth, we have some problems. So what keeps that in check is the lymphatic system and the lymphatic flow. All right. So it brings balance, and it also is part of the body's immune system, which help defend against bacteria and intruders in the system, as I said earlier on. It facilitates absorption of fats and fat-soluble nutrients in the digestive system. So, hey, are we having some issues with metabolizing? Well, let's look at our lymphatic flow. We may be having some stagnation taking place there. Okay? So when the lymph is drained progressively towards these larger vessels called the lymph nodes, right? They're about the size of a pea grain, a shape size there that you're seeing. And hundreds of them are scattered throughout the body. So in these nodes, immune cells access for foreign material such as bacteria, viruses, or fungus. So what it does, it goes through your system and it looks, it's like the army cells going through the system, looking for anything foreign within the body that can, cause inflammation or bacteria that can go out of balance and cause a disease within the system, getting the body out of order. All right. So what these lymph nodes are not only lymphatic tissues in the body, but these are the organs that is important for the lymphatic system. The tonsils, spleen, and thymus gland, which are also lymphatic tissues. Now, in the back of the mouth, that's what you're seeing on the screen there are your tonsils. Now, many of us, when we were young or little, or have some form of issue, always getting sick, the flu hitting us, first thing the doctor wants to do is take out your tonsils. Do you know how important the tonsils is? It produces lymphocytes and antibodies. And I explain what lymphocytes mean by your white blood cell, T cells, CD4 cells that helps to break down bacteria and viruses within the body. It's your marker. It's the alarm that sets off, because most times, even as babies, everything goes within the mouth. Their hand touch and that's how the immune system builds. So the tonsils are the guards. So when these tonsils get whiffed of something alien that's coming into the body, guess what happens? It sends signals to the gut to identify what type of antibodies to send back out to the system to help break down these antigens within the body, pathogens, within the body. Okay, so in the back of the mouth, there are the tonsils, and they produce lymphocytes, our type of white blood cell, and antibodies, and they help protect against inhaled and swallowed foreign bodies within the system. All right. Now, tonsils were considered to be a vestigial issue, meaning that it wastes away after it becomes mature, but hello, you need it for life. So when a doctor tells you, take out your tonsils, you know what's going on right away, what is going to happen later down in life as you grow up. So you have all sorts of allergies, all sorts of infection hitting the body, all sorts of things, because here what? The army cells no longer is sending the signal now to the gut to send out these antibodies. All right. Another organ, the spleen. The spleen is not connected to the lymphatic system, but in the same way as the lymph nodes, it is a lymphoid tissue. So what this spleen does, it's located at the upper far left part of the abdomen to the left of the stomach, and its function is to fight invading germs in the blood. It filters the blood from malformed or damaged red blood cells. So someone is having low iron, we're having some hematocrit not building in the bone marrow, something is happening. This is responsible for filtering, for building and helping in regulating together to work with the thyroids and parathyroids in the system. Okay, so it means it plays a role in production of white blood cells that forms part of the immune system, and its major role is to filter the blood to remove microbes and old and damaged red blood cells. 120 blood cells are built in 120 days and destroyed in 120 days as well. The thymus gland. What is the thymus gland? As it says, T cells, thymus, T cells mature, where the T cells mature in the thymus gland. It is a lymphatic organ and an endocrine gland that is found just behind the breastbone. It secretes hormones and is crucial in the production of the immune T cells. So the thymus gland works like a boot camp, as it says on the screen, for new recruits to the immune system. From their birthplace in the bone marrow, which it develops in the bone marrow, okay, immature white blood cells go to the thymus to mature into these killing machines. So there are your army cells, which is your T cells, okay? And they develop these lymphocytes and these T cells that helps to fight against microbes and infections that come into the body that starts to destroy, that wants to destroy the body or organs or organ function. So a healthy and active thymus gets you a diverse set of different T cells, and each is equipped to recognize and kill a slightly different foreign target. So they have specific orders to specific targets. So the organ is critical for a strong immune system, and it is ready to defend you, as it says, from any threat that comes into the body. All right. So we must understand where our immune system, the lymphatic system, lies. So around 90% of this plasma reaches tissues from the main blood capillaries. All right. It is returned to the capillaries and back along the vein. 10% of that is drained by your lymphatics. So each day when you do your exercise, you crunch, you squeeze, you press, all right, around 2 to 3 liters is returned. Loss of lymphatic system will be fatal within a day. Folks, how many of our lymphatic system is not even working in days? If one day it doesn't function properly, we're going to have issues, okay? So because our body is constantly exposed to hazardous microorganisms, infections, our system is not able to fight off these microorganisms. It lives with us, we breathe it, we eat it, we sleep with it, you know, it's all around us. And it can be harmful and even if we don't do what is required to keep our lymphatic flow healthy. As we said, it produces white blood cells known as your lymphocytes, and it travels throughout the lymphatic system. When they reach the nodes, they are filtered and become activated by contact with any virus, any bacteria or foreign particle, and so on in the lymph fluid. From this stage, the pathogens or invaders are known as antigens. Okay? Now the lymph nodes, which they attack the pathogens, right? So the lymph nodes are concentrated in the neck, armpits, and groin, as you saw in the picture earlier on. All right. We become aware of these on one or both sides of the neck. So if you feel, you will feel the glands, but if it's inflamed, you will feel them swollen in response to an illness. They get swollen or inflamed when an illness is there in the system. All right. So these lymph nodes that the lymphocytes encounter first, the pathogens, and then they communicate with each other and set off their T cells, B cell lymphocytes, you know, to their defensive response. So it starts to work to bring the inflammation down. Okay. If the lymphatic system can stop working properly, if nodes, ducts, vessels, or lymph tissues become blocked, infested, inflamed, or cancerous, we have an issue taking place. So cancer that starts in the lymphatic system is known as lymphoma. So we're talking about some of the issues that takes place when the lymphatic system is not at its best. All right. Some of them have Hodgkin lymphoma, right, which affects a specific type of your white blood cells. All right. They have non-Hodgkin lymphoma, which refers to cells that do not involve these types of white blood cells. Okay, then they have the cancer that affects the lymphatic system, which is usually a secondary cancer. This means it has spread from the primary tumor, such as the breast, to nearby or regional lymph nodes. So sometimes, you know, it starts at the breast and then it's filtered to different organs, lungs, and tissues within the body nearby. All right. Now, the lymphatic system clears away infection and keeps your body fluids in balance. If it is not working properly or there is an obstruction, the fluid builds up, and that's when you have the tenderness under the arms or the breast. And not everything that is tenderized and swollen is cancer or it's a disease. It can just be that inflammation, high toxicity is in the bloodstream and it needs to be cleaned away. Okay? It needs to be drained effectively. Some of these fluids build up, as I said, and can lead to swelling, example in your arm or legs. And this is what we call lymphedema. All right. So it is a chronic lymphatic disease that results in disfigurement, swelling in one or more parts of the body. The skin might feel tight, you might have skin problems, different things, but you can drain these by doing light massages to help move the fluid along the system, or where areas working with the lymph vessels can carry it away. All right. So some of these treatments can be, compression, physical therapy, and if there is cancer as well, as we do this session, I'm giving you both clinical and nutraceutical. All right. Some persons go the way of chemo, radiation, surgery, or combination of all when, they don't have knowledge of what, we are about here. So the tree of life, which we call the lymph system, is necessary, as I say, to maintain health throughout the body. So we got to start eating life and healing possible. Small efforts such as eating whole organic food, drinking pure water can greatly affect the efficiency of your lymph system. Many of us don't drink water during the day. How our lymphatic system is going to flush. And in turn, that will defend your entire body and protect it as well. So some of the things that we see, can occur, like swelling in the arm of your leg. If you notice some of these things, including your fingers, toes, heaviness or tightness, restricted range of motion, can stretch the leg out properly, lymph nodes under the knee are swollen, aching or discomfort, and recurring infections. Sometimes you have hardening and thickening of the skin called fibrosis. All right, all of that is indicative of lymphatic system blockage within the body. So one of these areas where is the right lymphatic duct, right? These systems drained within that upper right portion of the body and returns to the bloodstream via. Now, I want to show you something here because many of us, I'm hoping that you are understanding. I'm not going way over your head because I'll try as much as I can possible to explain what is happening here. So here is a slide of a lymphatic system where I circle it there in the breast. I think it's the left breast of this individual. She's in her 70s and she's had cancer of the breast in when we started working with her. She had gone into remission, but she also noticed that she's feeling some tenderness in that area there. And you can see by using the quantum testing, what we have seen. And right where it showed it is right there, she was feeling the lumps. Now, I have shown this on my group as well. Within 6 weeks of being on a regime program, because she said, I'm not taking no chances. Let me drink and do whatever you tell me to do. Within 6 weeks, if you notice the area, all of them are now between 1s and 2s and healthy lymph nodes by simply changing the diet, by using some of the supplements that we are about to explain later down, and how it has helped the inflammation move through her system. Now, what she was diagnosed as is that it seemed to be coming back. But in 6 weeks, we've seen it gone away. So what we are saying is that the body is made to reverse, recover, and restore, giving it the right food and the nutrients it needs. Now, many of us have been having some issues, and I'm seeing a lot of questions are coming up concerning cardiovascular issues and why they are having inflammation, retaining water, and so forth. This is a lovely picture of the heart. All right. And if you notice, the heart, it shows all its veins, subclavian vein, trachobronchial lymph nodes, all of these areas, the left internal jugular vein. But if we notice something, we are seeing the lymph nodes, which is in green, right? You are seeing, right? And the anterior mediastinal lymph nodes here. Now, do you know something? This is responsible for having some of the cardiovascular issues that many of the persons are experiencing: swollen feet, swollen hands, enlargement of heart and so forth. Has it ever occurred that maybe the lymphatics are being stagnated or something is going on there that is causing a lot of things? If you notice where the lymph node starts to arise from the throat area, coming down around the heart and in the side of the front and back of the rear of the heart. Now, I want to break this down as simply as I could. This is how the lymph nodes look, but this is another picture of X-ray or MRI that has shown degeneration of the lymphatic vessels in the heart and atherosclerotic plaque buildup in the arteries that you're seeing there. All right. Now it is called VEGF-C, which means vascular endothelial growth factor C. What is the growth factor of C? Endothelial means tissues in the heart that has been damaged. If we are looking around this part, the rear end of the heart, we see a little purple here. What that is telling us is that part of that heart is burnt, which means blood vessels, inflammation, accelerated impacted area, which means it could have had a little infection, a little ischemic attack there, and vessels has been broken. Now, I have seen a lot of patients with this sort of issue taking place. And what the doctors are saying is that, okay, the heart is bad. This is what, I mean, we know what they say. I love them. I have to work with them. I'm not going to cross them. But sometimes it can just be lymphatic vessel proliferation, mean a degeneration, a disruption in how the vessels are not being supportive, the T cells, the immune system, inflammation arising, accelerated healing of an impacted area there. All right, the other end, cholesterol removal, coronary artery remodeling, different things have started to happen. So we are seeing a screen of a real live of what is going on with a heart issue there. And the protein factor C is really a protein coding gene. Now, without being technical, the gene itself, proteins are what makes up the body, all right? Proteins are the building blocks of all organs and organ tissues within the system. So if these diseases that is associated with this sort of vascular issue, it is a form of primary lymphedema, which is retention of water, all right? A disease characterized by the swelling of the body parts due to the development of different anomalies and functional defects of the lymphatic system. So if this starts to happen, definitely we're going to have, it is caused by lymphatic malformation. So we have to look at how closely it works together with our heart, all right? So it is expressed in the lymphatic endothelium, which is aligning the soft tissues of the heart, and it plays a role in lymphogeogenesis, which means that it is necessary now. It is so amazing how our body can repair itself and how infinite we are made, that if there is an obstruction, angiogenesis starts to take place, which means that blood vessels start to grow alongside of the degenerated vessel to bypass it for vessel development, so that the heart must have its blood flow. So what it is called is really sprouting angiogenesis, which when it's initiated by if there is poorly perfused tissues, when oxygen sensing mechanisms is not detected at the level of hypoxia, which is oxygenation flow throughout the arteries and capillaries in the body. All right. So what that demands is new blood vessels. So they start to form to satisfy the metabolic requirements of the parenchymal cells. Now, what is parenchymal? Parenchymal is cells that occupies most of the tissues. It's definitive of its function, meaning that it's defined for a certain function in the body, in the cells. All right. And the paratracheal lymph nodes run along the sides of your trachea, which is your windpipe in the neck. So many of us find these things a little inflamed, and you go to the doctor and you say, okay, it's your thyroids or your parathyroids or the gout or whatever. But sometimes it's the simple things in life that you need to look at. And when we bypass these, it can definitely mean the lymphatic vessels is at a stage where it needs some cleaning out. So when that is inflamed, it gets swollen, and then you feel sick, and then a sore throat or cold start to take place. The tracheobronchial lymph nodes are a group of nodes that form in the bronchial nodes within the lungs. Hello? Are we taking notes? So many of us who have lung issues and they have to drain lung, and a lot of things are happening. Are we missing something? I hope tonight that it brings some awareness as to we start to think of what is going on within the body. All right. So we must take cognizance of our lymphatic system. We must look at it, because without it, our immune system will not function properly. Our T cells, helper cells, timer cells, and B cells cannot perform its function. All right. And it is not going to help with the immune system to start breaking down or running on site when something goes out of balance with the body. Okay, so as you see before this slide, we see this burnt heart here area, right? Now, this other heart picture, it's another young lady in her 70s that her heart looked like this one. This is not the picture of the heart. This is just a X-ray that shows what went on with a heart that has been damaged. Her heart, the reason why I put this up is that it showed exactly what her heart was looking like before. This is the after. Have you noticed anything out of ordinary? Everything is showing, well, the triangles and the yellows and the oranges are showing ones and twos, which means it's a healthy heart. On the right side here is the epithelial lining of the vessel, and all plaque buildup, everything is actually once more in order. This is if they did clinical cleanup, but here is nutraceutical cleanup. This happened within 3 months of her given a diagnosis of a weak heart. All right. These are some blood slides that I will show what is indicative of befores and afters and damage of the lymphatic system. Okay, we have moved on. This is how the white blood cells look like, your T cells, CD4 cells in a blood stain in the red blood cells. Okay, this is a healthy one after being on the supplements that we are about to share within what has cleaned out the lymphatic system, has brought about wellness back to the body, reverse recovering and restore. So a little, this is what our balanced diet is supposed to look like. We're supposed to be treating our body with vitamins, minerals, essential fats, phytochemicals, which breaks down oxidation within our cells. Is this how our diet is looking like these days? I hope so. So Sankey Mayer, they have been studying for over 40 plus years the centenarians who lived on the island of Okinawa, and they have found out that these people did not suffer from chronic degenerative illnesses and has abundant natural energy and must maintain astounding physical activity. They are still able to work in their fields. They enjoy their life without any knock up, broke up, pain, stretching out the knee early in the morning to get a little, warm up so that it can move once more. And what that is telling us, thanks to the microbiota of diverse and resistant bacteria, which helps in creating when, fermented food are formed and the body, it helps in digesting and generating proper metabolism, meaning that it breaks down their food so that they can have proper digestion. And when you have proper digestion, in today's world, you might say, oh gosh, some of these things might sound costly to use, but hear what? It's more costly to be sick than to be healthy. Because what is happening with our body cells are so degenerated that it cannot even get the foods you eat to even bring it up to a 10% of health. I mean, I am seeing it every day. So I am telling you what is real life happening right now. Okay. So because of advanced sciences, nutrigenomics, which is really studying and analyzing the people, their environment, their lifestyle, and their genetics, which has a lot to do with it as well, they came up with these 4 supplements that helps to nourish, vitalize, sustain, balance, and connect, and restore and protect the system. So I'm not sure if the microbiome panel is on, but I would love to have, if King Clive is on, to talk about the Hasaki. If not, Dr. Rutan, can you go with the Hasaki?
Oh, definitely. Listen, the Hasaki is made out of a revolutionary formula called Bovia. This is out of the cacao bean. It has 596 metabolites, and this is so important, vitally important, because this has to do with your digestive tract. This has to do with the digestion of your food. And 596 is actually the exact amount needed. So in some, other formulations, you'll see 300, 200, but 596 is the exact amount. Now, the interesting part about the Hasaki that not only does it balance the intestinal flora, so it can actually turn it up or down without, without messing with the actual formulation of the product. So the gastric acid in the stomach does not disintegrate the formulation itself. But not only does it deal with the flora, it also deals with the testosterone and the estrogen in your body. So if you have too much, it's able to turn it down. If you need more, it's able to turn it up. So this is some of the greatest things about the Hasaki, but not only does it do that, it's dealing with your microbiome, and your microbiome is so vitally important because why? We are made up of 90% microbial cells and 10% human cells. So this does nourish the microbiota. It does improve protein absorption by 20%. It increases oxidation of fat. It sustains proper weight management and provides vital energy to the mitochondria. Now, the thing is, if you want to use this as a meal replacement, you can, and you can also use it as a meal enhancer. We also have found that some of the things that it does is that if men are having issues in the colon and intestinal area, it really is going to help with the prostate area, and it's going to cleanse and just flush out what's going on in the intestinal area. Back to you, Dr. Denise.
Wow. Amazing. Our fantastic four. Well, take it away, Queen Belage.
Well, our Belage, as you can see, this says Orzoid Enzyme 3 here. It is a trademarked formula that we have. And what's so amazing is, for those that just got on, is that these are 53-year-old formulas, especially the Belage is the first formulation that was created. It took 40 years before they brought it out. So it's now 53 years old. But as you see on the screen, it says Orzoid Enzyme 3. We're now on Orzoid Enzyme 5. And that is significant to me because it tells me that Sankey Mayor, which is the biotechnology company that's behind our formulations, they do not stop improving the formulations. So they didn't just create an amazing formulation and say, okay, we're done. They kept on going. And they keep on doing this to enhance the product. So our Orzoid Enzyme 5 is now 25% more powerful than what we had to begin with. Now it is made out of the bacteria off of the olive leaf, which is curated every 27 days, as well as rosemary. And of course, it goes back to the microbiome. Why is it curated every 27 days? Because that has to do with the microbiome and the cycle of a woman. And the microbiome is actually female. So all of these things sound so scientific, but they make so much sense. So this is capable of acting on the inside cells of the mitochondria, perfected with purified extracts, like I said, of rosemary and the bacteria off of the olive. Mitochondria is the energy houses of your cells. The Belage is able to literally regenerate the mitochondria, not just, make them happy, but regenerate. Regeneration does mean bring back to life. And so I always found that so powerful when Dr. Behe Diaz, the scientific director, gave us a webinar regarding this formulation, because I was like, for something to bring back to life, that is that which is dead, that is powerful. 100% natural, 100% plant-based. This strengthens the immune system. It increases energy production. It reactivates natural antioxidants in the body, improves hydration at the cellular level. When you see improves hydration, this is able to permeate the brain-blood barrier as well as the eye barrier. Many things, nothing can actually penetrate usually the brain barrier. You usually have to install another medication in order for that to happen. But this is actually formulated to be able to do that because it helps with Alzheimer's and dementia, and it's able to hydrate the brain. It also assists with your stress levels in the gut because it's dealing with the gut levels as well and making sure, again, that the mitochondria is balanced out. It decreases fats and sugars, improving blood circulation. For all of the men on this line, especially even the women, we had a call the other night regarding sex. And I know persons are like, what, a call about sex? Listen, we are talking from the basis of a scientific level of why certain things don't work. We have men and women, men suffering with erectile dysfunction, and you might as well say that sometimes women are suffering with erectile dysfunction. It's just that we don't have a pineal gland that needs to be erect, but we do have a clitoris that also needs blood in order to have proper sex. And so if we're not having the blood circulation circulating the way it needs to, it doesn't happen. And so often women will be like, I just don't feel it. I'm not into it. I have a headache. I'm not doing this. But guess what? This is why things are not happening, is because our blood is not flowing the way it needs to. Back to you, Dr. Denise.
Wow, need not say more. All right, in a 7, well, everybody know this is my baby. Minerals make up those micronutrients which activates metabolism within the body. So metabolism consists of the amino acids, which are the building blocks of the organs and organ tissues function in the system. All right, it has over 60 plus minerals, to name a few: magnesium, calcium, potassium, sodium, copper, just to name a few. And if you notice, coming down to the line of all these formulations, this fantastic 4, you're seeing improves natural defense mechanism. So what is our natural defense mechanism? Our lymphatic system, all right? So we are seeing that here, these minerals, all right, magnesium is one of the 4th most abundant mineral in the body. 60% is found in our bones, 33 skeletal and cardiac muscle. So what that is telling us, folks, wow, it's amazing to see how this inner 7 works within the body. The minerals is like your body is on, the cells are on steroids in a natural way. All right. It helps convert blood sugar to energy. It also acts as an anti-stress agent. It attracts water to the intestines. So those who don't drink water properly, it makes you thirsty, so you can drink more water that the body needs. All right. It also helps in bladder cystitis, prevalent caused by the bacteria E. coli. Folks, listen, what we're missing here? Calcium helps to reduce the body's acidity, and not only acidity, bringing the pH back into the bloodstream, but it also builds red blood cells in the bone marrow, oxygenates the bloodstream, and also strengthens the veins and arterial vessel walls. Selenium has the effect on vitamin C. So when you take selenium, which you get from a natural food, but it's here in our minerals, all right, it amplifies vitamin C, which helps to regenerate microcirculation. So those little blood vessels that feel that they're not working anymore, varisses of veins and so forth, thrombosis of veins and arteries, hey, what? Those little valves are strengthening up once more and starting to do and pump blood throughout those tiny veins in our body. Potassium regulates the heart and muscles. We might feel that, in the heat, you get a little more anxiety, you're not breathing properly. The body, hypoxia level is low, the oxygen is not flowing through the bloodstream. Here's what: if the potassium level drops low, we're going to have a problem with palpitation, feeling cardiovascular issues. You might think you're having cardiovascular issues, but no, that is not so. Maybe the potassium level is a little low. Definitely, you will know when cardiac arrest starts to take place. All right. And it also helps to promote smooth transition of signals along your nerve endings in the body. Those who suffer from osteochondrosis, degeneration of soft tissues between the spinal column and the nerve generation between the carpals, metacarpals in your hand, feeling stiff and all of that. It helps to repair and rejuvenate that. Copper regulates the blood cholesterol. Zinc Very important, Dr. Rudran just said it before earlier on, with erectile dysfunction, women, low libido, and all of that, right? It helps with prostatitis syndrome. You may not have an enlarged prostate, but you may have prostatitis syndrome, meaning that there's an inflammation of the prostate, which is really connected to the urethra that has some little, bacteria there. All right. So it helps balance. It also helps with kidney stones. Persons who have had these things, kidney stones, didn't even realize they have. When they started to use the supplements, they started to feel pain. Something started happening, a little blood in the urine. Then when they went, they realized that the stones were breaking down and moving out. So guys, we have it in the palm of our hands. Well, this is, I know, Nurse Donnelly baby.
She's on, I believe. Hold on one second.
Lovely. So
Nurse
take
Adley.
it.
Oh, Lord, I thought I was off tonight. Good night, everyone. I was just enjoying, Dr. Denise, as always, she's just so amazing with her presentation. I thought you was going to do the canoe fire tonight,
Honey,
I was here just laying down, just enjoying my night. Anyway, the canoe fire. Guys, yes, this is my baby because I always talk about sleep for persons who are suffering from insomnia or sleep disorders. This is really, really, really the product to have. A hot cup of this in the nighttime and 8 ounces of water, and you're knocked out like a baby. But not only are you knocked out like a baby, what happens is this product has something called Auxilia Night Reset. With the Auxilia Night Reset, it's a compound of rosemary, olive leaf. What it does, it helps the body while you're sleeping to actually absorb all of those carbohydrates, sugars, and fats that you had during the day and pass it out of the body. For persons who have high cholesterol, this is the drink to have in the nighttime to bring down those bad cholesterol in your body and actually get all of those plaques and build up out of your artery. Then another thing with this product, those who have a high sugar content, high glucose count, it also helps you to bring your sugar level down. Those of you, as I said before, it helps to take all of that cholesterol and plaque out of the artery, which actually causes hypertension, high blood pressure. So,
hey, Nurse Adley, before you go on, can you tell them about what the experiment, what the doctor had those guys do with drinking the canoe fire to prove that what it was doing? When they held the urine, when they the doctor had please can you share that, please?
Okay. This doctor, he told, because he had several persons who were on the canoe fire. So he told them, okay, collect their urine for 24 hours. So every time they urinate, they wouldn't urinate in the toilet, they would urinate in a urinal and keep it and pour it in a jug and keep it, cover it up, and a clear jug. And so at the end of the 24 hours, they found this plaquey, like oily substance on the bottom of the jug. So actually what happens, it showed how the canoe was taking all of that fatty substance out of their arteries, and actually they were actually urinating it out. That is how powerful this canoe fire is. It's powerful. So my thing about it is, Dr. Denise and Dr. Ruth Ann, here in the Caribbean, what we eat? Fatty foods. We love fried foods. We can't stay away from it. We like our fried foods and our steamed foods and everything just dripping. So my thing about it is, this is the product to have. We love our rice and peas. We love our carbohydrates, all our sweet potatoes, all of those things. And so all of them are high in sugar. Even when we eat our fruits and vegetables, some of them are high in sugar. And so this is something that you should have on your shelf every night to sleep well and to burn those extra carbs and sugars out of the body. This is the whole product line is amazing. And as I said on the call last night, Dr. Behe Adias, I take my hat off to him, because as Dr. Dr. Joy was saying earlier, you know, the Okinawians, how he studied them. And he wanted to put their gut inside of us. He wanted us to actually be able to live 100 and plus and be strong and have a better quality of life. So as he made the advanced delivery system, like Dr. Ruth Ann said, what he did, he made the product so tiny, very tiny, all of the products, and he coated them so that it could get into your gut and your digestive enzymes do not break it down, because he wants it to go into the bloodstream. Once it goes into the bloodstream, it's able to get into your cells. And Dr. Denise always talk about cellular health. So my thing about it is the powerhouse, and listening to Dr. Denise, you should know that the powerhouse of every cell is the mitochondria. Once the mitochondria starts dying, what happens? It gives way to illness and sickness in the body. So he made these products to actually be able to go into your cells, give that mitochondria a jump start, whereas it actually reactivates it, and you start having new cells. All of the disease mitochondria start to wake up to build new cells, would give you new mitochondria, new cells, and what happens? The body goes in a process called homeostasis. Homeostasis is the process by which your body was made, by which the Almighty made your body to heal itself. So our bodies can heal itself. Dr. Ruth Ann keep on saying it. Dr. Joy keep on saying it. Your body can heal itself. So these products were made to actually assist the body, because if you take the regular supplements off of the shelf, I'm not giving any name to any, you take them off the shelf, you put them into your body. How much percentage of those supplements are you getting off the shelf? Because when you go to the restroom and you urinate, all right, you will notice that your urine is a dark color or it's high. You could smell all the vitamins just coming out. And your fecal matter, it's hard or makes you constipated. So why not take something where you don't experience that? Why not take something whereas you could actually feel the difference in your body? You could actually see the oil in the jug after urinating. So thank you so much, Dr. Joy, and back to you.
Wow, that is so amazing. Just in addition to that, remember the liver, gallbladder, pancreas, and spleen work hand in hand. And I have seen the fire work for persons who have hepatobiliary disorders, you know, to break that down to lithiasis, which means that the gallbladder, the two good fats that you eat in a and causing this buildup within these fatty lipids. And you just explain where they held their urine for 24 hours and you see that oil down at the bottom. So persons who are having issues with their organs and organ function, you don't need to take out the gallbladder or the liver. You know, the liver is going to do its work to synthesize its proteins. That is why we have that building up of that oil down at the bottom of the urine there, because the blood, it has to ingest the bacteria in the blood, which passes through the liver and by extension in digestion and metabolizing. So wonderful, you know, pin on that, where this doctor did that special, you know, with the patients there and the urine to see about that with after 24 hours. So amazing. So folks, I want to thank you tonight for being a wonderful audience. We try to keep it within 1 hour, but if there are questions and you would like to voice them, we can answer them within the next 5-10 minutes. And Dr. Ruth Ann will, you know, I'm turning back over to you.
Wow. Thank you as always, guys. And so please get back to the person that brought you this call. And if you have any questions to them about how to get the products, how to try the products, they will be able to assist you with that most definitely. But are there any questions out there? I know somebody was asking, can you mix the Balage with the Inner 7? Yes, you can. You can actually mix the Balage, Cornu, and Inner 7 together. It's an excellent formulation, especially for anybody that's suffering with COVID. It really gets that after effect of with the lungs and all that horrible stuff. It really assists and aids with that, especially during and after. So we always say to use the Trinity, the three, the Balage, Cornu, and Inner 7, as hot as you can take it, as often, like at least 3 times a day. So any questions out there? Feel free to either put it in the chat or raise your hand.
I guess we did an amazing job. Everybody understood.
Everybody. Oh, hold on. So someone's just clapping. Someone's congratulating you. Let's see who that was. Carlene's giving you a clapping hands.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so we have some questions. You know, everybody takes a minute to write. So we have if I have third stage kidney and heart disease, can it help?
Oh, yes. Just start on the products. Well, you know, your diet is going to have to change. You're going to have to eat certain things. And, you know, we can work on that with your person who brought you to the meeting tonight, or you can have our advice as well on the microbiome panel here, which is Dr. Ruth and myself, Beverly, the Nurse Donnelly. And, you know, you can do both, all three, the Crenue, the Delat, and the inner 7, because of the calcium and potassium intake, there will have to be an amount that we'll have to work, the practitioner will have to work with you on that dosage. But I have worked it on stage 4 kidney patients, all of the products. And within 3 to 6 months, they were no longer kidney issues.
Wow.
Doctor,
go ahead, Dolly. Go ahead, Dolly.
Can I just add to that? I had a client who had in stage kidney disease. He was on dialysis, and what had happened was he actually, you know, with kidney disease, you cannot urinate. He actually started to urinate. And what actually happened was he had to do dialysis less. And so what it also did for him was what we did, first of all, because, you know, when you have kidney disease, they actually, when you reach that stage where you have to do your intake, count your intake, your meals, how much you intake and put and output. My thing about it is when you these products, all you do, you know, you're on a certain amount of liquids a day, subtract it from the amount that you're on. And that's it's easy. So the thing about it is this is just food. Like if you have kidney disease, you can take food. So this is just food. This is like drinking your tea, and it's better than drinking, because for some reason, kidney patients, they love to take caffeine, and they know they're not supposed to have caffeine, but for some reason, they do it to me. I don't know why. They love their sodas, they love their coffees, and they know they're not supposed to have it. So your Crenue could be your coffee, and your Balage can be your soda. How about that? Yep. And so you could take away from the amount of meals you're supposed to have today. Just wanted to add that in there.
Super.
Super, excellent. So one of the other questions is, how does the product help with cancer?
Well, we just spoke about. Okay. Well, we just spoke about the lymphatic system and how certain things stem from the lymphatic blockage. And most times cancer cells arise from lymphatic blockages. So the Balage is the number one to fight against cancer and any chronic condition. Now, as we say, we don't make claims, but as a specialist in my field, most of my patients are cancer patients, and this is what I have them on. So it has to, as Dr. Marutan spoke about the mitochondria in the cell, which is the cell life in every cell, that regulates it with nanotechnology and nanomedicine. It goes intricately into nanoparticles to the degenerated cells. Now, I'm not saying that it's an overnight, effect, but if you have stage 3, stage 2, stage 1, I mean, you're in a great way to fight against these pathogens within the body, even at stage 4, which I have treated. And there are persons who can reach out to you who have been treated with it as well. So folks, yes, but you have to be on all of the supplements, because different supplements work hand in hand synergistically to help with different parts of the organ and organ function as to where the body is hit the most and hurt at. Any other persons on the panel want to add, please go right ahead.
No, I agree with that completely. So one of the other questions are, can these products help someone who has cataracts?
Yes, it can. because Nurse Donnelly can even identify with that. Nurse Donnelly want to take it because I know the Chronophile and the Belage is very, very important in cataract cleansing.
Now, with cataract, cataract is actually a film that is formed over the eye. Now, how it can help with cataracts, because cataracts are something that continuously grow. Now, I know that it can actually halt the growth of the cataract, but depending on how long you've had it, it may have hardened and you may have to get it taken off. But the thing about it is, once you get it taken off, because cataracts are something that come back. If you get on these products, it will correct the situation that it will not come back. Okay? It will actually, because a lot of medications and stuff, what they do, let me just say this, because I said this last night. A lot of medications, what they do, they fight symptoms. They do not correct issues. Let me repeat that. Big Pharma fight symptoms. Big Pharma does not get down to the issue. What these products do is actually assist the body, as I said, in going into homeostasis. Homeostasis is where the body starts to heal itself. That's the process. That's the best. Look here, God is the best doctor ever, and he made our body to heal itself. But because of what we choose to eat, what we choose to drink, not getting enough sleep, not getting enough exercise, look here, and I want to talk about the pollution that we breathe in. Our body needs help. And so help is here tonight on the line. Help is called Belage, Canoe, Inner 7, and Hasaki to help to put your body into homeostasis so that it will do what God intended to do, to start healing itself. I've been giving myself and my clients and my family these products from 2019. It's now 2022. And never yet have I had anyone come to me and said that they did not have a difference in their health. They did not have a turnaround in their health. Now, if you want to turn around in your health, I suggest you get back to the person who invited you to this call tonight. If you want to at least get some sleep, feel better in your body, and start to decrease the amount of medications that you're taking. Start to decrease the amount of time you have to go on dialysis. Start to decrease the amount of time you have to have chemo. That's my suggestion. Because as a nurse, being a nurse for over 25 years, never have I yet seen the things that I've seen. Never have I yet seen persons who are on insulin, their insulin being decreased. And some of them actually coming off insulin, going on oral meds, or actually being their sugar actually being controlled by diet now. Persons who have hypertension coming off anti-hypertensive meds. Whenever have you all heard about something like that? And they come off of hypertension meds and they control on diet. Persons who have cancer, their cancer markers coming down just off of food. Because that's all this is, food that the body needs to actually put the body in homeostasis. Now, if you're here someplace else, let me know. Please hit me up and let me know. Because this is the first time as a nurse seeing this, and I know Dr. Joy could attest for the same thing. This is the first time in the medical world we're actually seeing this right in the front of our eyes. So back to you, Dr. Joy.
Well said.
So we have another. Yeah, so we have a few more questions. So, and I could get this one. It says, what product for a child with sickle cell? Well, I know one of the main things for sickle cell, to pull out the sickle, we use the Belage as well as the minerals from the inner 7. So you would actually mix the Belage and the inner 7 together, and it would assist with that. Is it going to cure? We don't cure or mitigate any disease, but it will definitely assist and aid with what's going on with the sickle cell. How can I get these products? Please, Miss Rosalie Porter, you can get back to the person that invited you to this call. If they don't know, then just let them ask them whoever got the link, how did they get the link, and get back to that individual, and they will be able to assist you. Another question with Dr. Joy was, what causes the lymph?
What causes the lymph?
Joy to go all the way back and explain to that, but we do have the link in the chat where you can just go over this presentation, because that's where she actually tells us, why the lymphatic system gets blocked and how we can avoid it from happening. I had a private message that's asked about digestive system and arthritic pain in the body, balage. And then if you have blockages in the body, as in you feel you're backed up, you need some Hasaki as well as the balage in your system. What else? How effective is it to really bring down blood pressure with reading 193 over 126? Well, you heard Nurse Adley, it is effective. We've had fairs in Nassau where Nurse Adley and all of at Prescription Parlor Pharmacy with also Nurse Mortimer, where they've had persons with ridiculous readings, and they've had to they give them the Crinby fire. Within 20 minutes, they're actually able to not have the ambulance come and pick the people up, because the people don't even realize they have severe pressure. It's ridiculous. And Nurse Sadly can attest to that. Then we have in a private chat, it said, what causes persons to get allergies in their 50s, causing welts to appear on their skin anytime they scratch, and what can be taken for it? Well, I know from the information that I have learned over the years is that whenever you have anything coming out in your skin, it's technically your body is screaming that it's had too much, and it's usually doo-doo coming out on your skin. I know that sounds really horrible, but it's a reaction of your body just pushing everything out. So they need to detox, they need to flush, they need more water, they need balage, and then also Hasaki to balance out their microbiome. I don't know if Dr. Denise, you could add to that.
No, that's true.
Beverly has her hand up.
Oh yeah, sorry. Oh yeah, sorry, Miss Bev. I've been meaning to get to you. I know your hand is hurting. Go ahead. Yeah, Miss Bev, I know her hand. Yeah, Miss Beverly, you can unmute if you want. I don't know if you can. If you can, I'm unmuting you. Your hand's up. I don't know if she's unmuting. Okay, Beverly, your hand is up. I don't know if it's up intentionally. If it is, I'm just trying to unmute you. So if you have a question, you can ask the question. Okay, maybe not. Okay, well, there we go. So thank you so much, Dr. Denise, for getting on, and please show your love for this call. Can you just drop some 3s in the chat just to tell Dr. Denise, thank you so much. This is information that's being given freely, so she doesn't have to do it, but we do it because we care, and we care that information is power. And if you were on the beginning when Mr. Piera said, knowledge is power, but if you don't put it into action, there's nothing behind it at all. So drop some 3s in the chat. Let Dr. Denise know that you are grateful for being on this call, that you got some information that can definitely empower you to go out and share it with other females and males, because it's not just for females, it's for everybody that needs the information. So if that is you on this call, just tell her thank you by dropping some 3s in the chat. And I want to say, you didn't have to be here. Hold on, would you repeat the answer about warts on the skin? Okay, warts on the skin is basically a breakout. It's like your body is screaming that it's had enough. And so in doing so, it needs to detox, it needs to flush. So oftentimes the body will start creating warts, even sores. These huge blisters will start coming out of the skin that needs a detox. Balage, water. The body needs to flush it out. So you need to get that going. I know my grandbaby had a time when she was just drinking too much sugar, and literally these warts, these sores were coming out all over her body. Yeah. I started giving her balage, and also I gave her the Cornu to cut that sugar cravings coming from her, and she hasn't had it since. And more water, more fluid, more water. So thank you so much. We did it in the hour, Dr. Denise, as you wanted. And we made it happen. And so guys, I dropped in the chat earlier, and I will drop it again, the copy of the link for tonight's presentation. So if you want to check it out again, listen in again, here it is. And please just, when you go to the YouTube channel, just press like and share if you like it. How often should we drink Balage? You can drink Balage anywhere from 1 to 6 sachets a day. It's really dependent on your body and what's going on. Like I know I just got bombarded with sinus suddenly. The air shifted where I'm at. And so like I've drunk about 4 Balage today. And this morning I could hardly breathe. I was like, my nose was stuffed. So you can actually drink up to a box a day. It is food. So it's really what's going on with your body on that day, during that day, how often you need to drink it. So I hope that answers your question. So we still got people coming into the call as we're leaving. So thank you so much for getting on. Have an amazing day. Please remember, we have a microbiome presentation every single Tuesday. Thursday nights, we have a sex conversation at 10 p.m. Adults only, anyone over the age of 21. We also have a men's call every Friday where we speak to the men about what's going on with them. And then every Saturday, we have the call for the women by Dr. Denise. So love to say that we love having you here, and y'all have an amazing night. And like I said, the link is there to share the presentation. So y'all have a good night. Thank you so much.
Good
Bye-bye,
night,
my
all.
friends.
Love you guys.
Good night, all. Thanks, Dr. Denise. It was excellent.
Love you.
Love you